Black Friday, the one day a year when people forget family, gratitude, and personal safety, all for $10 off a toaster. 1. The tent city of desperation. Some people camp for music festivals, others camp for Taylor Swift tickets. But every November, thousands of Americans pitch tents in front of Best Buy, not for fun, but for slightly cheaper electronics. One man in Florida started camping 12 days early to get a TV that would save him exactly $79. When reporters asked if it was worth missing Thanksgiving, he said, "Absolutely, it's tradition." Nothing says holiday spirit like sleeping on cold asphalt surrounded by generator fumes and the faint aroma of financial anxiety. 2. The flat screen stampede. In 2012, a Walmart in Arkansas turned into a gladiator arena when the doors opened for a Black Friday TV sale. Shoppers rushed in, tackling each other over 40-inch flat screens like they were championship trophies. Security footage showed one man using a child's car seat as a battering ram. Police eventually shut the store down after multiple injuries. But the saddest part? The same TV was on sale online for $10 more with free shipping. Civilization fell for the price of a pizza. 3. The pepper spray discount. Nothing says holiday cheer like chemical warfare in the electronics aisle. In Los Angeles, a woman brought a can of pepper spray to Walmart for self-defense. When the doors opened and the crowd surged toward an Xbox display, she unleashed it, not in fear, but to clear her path. 20 people were treated for chemical burns. She walked away with the console. Imagine explaining that to your kids. Mommy got this Xbox by temporarily blinding half of Los Angeles. 4. The fake price war retailers love doorbusters, those mythical deals that make people lose their humanity. But one brave customer in Ohio discovered the truth. The store had raised prices 2 weeks before Black Friday just to discount them back to normal. She stormed the manager's office armed with receipts and righteous fury, demanding justice for fake discounts. The manager's defense? It's not lying if it's marketing. Somewhere, a PR executive got a bonus for that quote. 5. The mannequin fight. At a Target in Tennessee, 2 women got into a brawl over the last $5 waffle maker. Witnesses said one grabbed the box, the other grabbed her hair, and somehow, no one's sure how, they both ended up wrestling into a Christmas display. The waffle maker shattered, a nearby Santa mannequin lost its head, and both women were banned from the store for life. Meanwhile, a confused child asked, "Mommy, is this part of the sale?" Technically, yes. It was 2-for-1 chaos. 6. The TV toss heard round the mall. In 2015, a man in Michigan got so frustrated when another shopper grabbed his discounted TV first that he did what any rational adult would do. He threw another TV at him, right across the aisle. Security footage showed the airborne flat screen spinning through the air like a cheap plastic frisbee of vengeance. The best part? Both TVs broke. Both men were arrested, and both missed the sale entirely. 2 men entered for deals, 2 men left with nothing but criminal charges and a new understanding of gravity. 7. The Great Frozen Turkey Incident. Every year there's that one person who takes doorbuster too literally. In a Texas grocery store, a woman tried to cut the checkout line by hurling a frozen turkey at another shopper's cart. The 15-pound poultry missile missed its target, shattered a display of cranberry sauce, and triggered a full evacuation. When police arrived, she explained it was self-defense. Against what? The possibility of waiting 10 extra minutes for 99-cent stuffing mix. The only thing truly stuffed that day was her arrest record. 8. The Employee Escape Plan. Working Black Friday retail is basically a live reenactment of the Hunger Games, with less mercy and worse lighting. One Walmart employee in Nevada quit mid-shift after customers trampled over a display he had just built. His resignation letter? He wrote it on a sale sign and taped it to the wreckage. It read, "You win, humanity loses." The crowd stepped over it to grab discounted AirPods. Sociologists say empathy is what separates humans from animals. Clearly, those sociologists have never worked a Black Friday shift. 9. The Great Blender Debate. In 2019, 2 men in Pennsylvania got into an argument over the last $39 Ninja blender. What began as passive-aggressive muttering escalated into a full-scale shouting match that ended with one man chasing the other through the store, while still holding the blender box like a weapon. The store manager eventually had to confiscate it for safety reasons. Imagine explaining that to corporate. We had to disarm a customer with a kitchen appliance. Somewhere, a marketing team is putting high-speed ergonomic grip on the box and calling it a feature. 10. The Line Cutter Showdown. If you ever want to witness the collapse of civilization in real time, just watch what happens when someone cuts a Black Friday line. In Georgia, a man tried to skip ahead in a line for PlayStations. The crowd didn't just boo, they formed a jury. 10 people confronted him, one person filmed it, and another shouted, "We've been here since Thursday." When security intervened, the line collectively cheered like they'd won a championship. The man was escorted out as people chanted, "No deals for you." Justice was served. Half off. 11. The TV campout divorce. Every relationship has its breaking point. For one Florida couple, it was a discounted television. They camped outside Best Buy for 5 days to score a 70-inch smart TV at half price. On day 4, she suggested they just buy it online and go home. He accused her of not believing in the mission. She left. He stayed. When he finally bought the TV, he had no car, no tent, and no wife. But hey, 50% off. A week later, he tried to return the TV because, in his words, "It didn't make me happy." Neither did the divorce papers. 12. The shopping cart derby in Ohio. 2 men waiting for a store to open decided to pass the time with a friendly shopping cart race in the parking lot. Witnesses say it started as fun, until one lost control and slammed into the automatic doors, shattering them before the sale even began. The manager had to delay opening for repairs, and the crowd of hundreds nearly rioted. When asked if they regretted it, one of the racers said, "Not really, I won." Technically true, he won the race, and a lifetime ban from Walmart. 13. The fake line entrepreneur. Some people see chaos, others see opportunity. A college student in New Jersey noticed the huge Black Friday line outside an Apple store. So he printed fake VIP wristbands, started handing them out for $20 each, and told people it would get them in faster. He made over $2,000 before security realized he didn't even work there. When the cops asked why he did it, he shrugged and said, "Capitalism." The judge called it fraud. Either way, he's the only person who actually made money on Black Friday. 14. The Great Baby Stroller Heist. At a department store in Kansas, a woman tried to sneak an entire 42-inch TV out under a baby blanket. Problem? There was no baby, just a very rectangular infant that beeped when it passed the security gates. When staff confronted her, she actually tried to rock it to sleep. Her defense was, "It's for my child's education." What was she teaching? The importance of stealth, apparently. Somewhere, a security guard is still telling this story every Thanksgiving. 15. The Grandma Gladiator. Every year, there's a viral video of a sweet old lady elbowing her way through chaos, and this one's the stuff of legend. In a Target in Wisconsin, a 74-year-old grandmother snatched the last discounted Instant Pot from a man twice her size. When he tried to take it back, she hit him with her purse and yelled, "I've survived worse than you, honey." She wasn't lying. She was a retired Marine. The crowd applauded. She paid cash and walked out like a war hero. The moral: never underestimate Grandma during doorbusters. She's seen combat. You've seen coupons. 16. The Parking Lot Royal Rumble Black Friday parking lots are where human civility officially clocks out. At a mall in Illinois, 2 drivers fought over a single parking spot that wasn't even that close to the store. They ended up circling each other for 10 minutes like a NASCAR duel before both cars tried to pull in at once and collided. Instead of exchanging insurance info, they both stormed into the store together to get their deals first. Police later found them arguing in the checkout line, still blaming each other for the crash. Priorities? Broken. Bumper first, broken morals second. 17. The Appliance Avalanche. In North Carolina, a crowd of impatient shoppers decided the store wasn't opening fast enough, so they started pushing the automatic doors themselves. The glass shattered, and like a scene from a disaster movie, hundreds of people surged in. One witness described it as a human blender. A man tripped near the toaster display and was nearly buried under falling boxes. Paramedics were called, and the store had to close, all before a single sale had been scanned. Black Friday didn't just break doors that year, it broke the concept of waiting. 18. The Sleeping Bag. Scammer one man in Colorado had a genius idea. He lined up outside Best Buy the night before, sold his place in line to a desperate latecomer for $400, then went to the back and did it again, twice. He made over $1,000 just reselling his spot. When security caught on, they banned him from the store. His response? He went next door to Target and started a premium line experience for $50 a ticket. Say what you will, but that man understands America's most sacred holiday value: flipping your fellow man for profit. 19. The blender betrayal. A husband and wife in Oklahoma decided to divide and conquer. She went for the air fryer, he went for the $20 blender. 10 minutes later, he texted, "Got it." She arrived to find him proudly holding a display model with no motor and no box. When she pointed it out, he said, "It's fine, we'll figure it out." They didn't. The manager refused the return since, technically, it wasn't sold. Their marriage survived. But the trust? Pureed beyond repair. If you ever doubt love's endurance, remember, these two stayed together after losing a blender and their dignity. 20. The overnight babysitter. In Arizona, a couple showed up at 3 a.m. for a toy sale but didn't want to lose their place in line. Their solution? They left their 8-year-old to hold their spot while they went to Starbucks. The store opened early, the kid panicked, and the manager had to find him a safe place to wait. When the parents returned, they were banned for child neglect and still didn't get the toy. Somewhere, that kid's future therapist is already taking notes under holiday trauma early onset. 21. The return counter meltdown. 3 days after the chaos, the hangover hits, and that's when the returns begin. A man in Utah tried to return a 60-inch TV he'd clearly punched, claiming it came like that. When the employee refused, he demanded to see the Black Friday warranty manager, a position that does not exist. After being escorted out, he shouted, "You just lost a loyal customer." Everyone in line clapped. The employee later said it was her favorite part of the holidays: watching people discover accountability in real time. 22. The GPS of shame. One woman in Missouri drove 6 hours to reach a store rumored to have the best Black Friday deals in the Midwest. The problem? The GPS took her to an abandoned mall that closed in 2014. She waited outside for 4 hours before realizing it was empty. When a police officer finally stopped to check on her, she said, "I thought they just opened late." It's hard to say what's sadder, the closed mall or the fact that somewhere her kids were probably still waiting for her to come home with discounted iPads. 23. The price tag surgeon. In Wisconsin, one man brought a pocket knife to Walmart, not to threaten anyone, but to perform delicate price tag surgery. He carefully peeled off clearance stickers from cheap toasters and placed them on $300 laptops, thinking no one would notice. When caught, he argued that if it sticks, it counts. Security politely disagreed. Police described it as an attempted DIY sale. The irony? The laptop aisle was right next to a big sign that read, "Prices you can trust, not anymore." 24. The coupon cult leader. Every store has that one customer who treats coupons like holy scripture. One woman in Nebraska took it to a new level. She organized a coupon caravan of 30 people who marched into Target waving expired discounts like protest signs. When management refused to honor them, she declared a consumer strike and led her followers to the parking lot to chant, "We demand deals." Police didn't arrest anyone, but they did make them disperse. Witnesses said it looked like a mix between a flash mob and a tax seminar. 25. The blender redemption arc. Remember the guy from earlier who fought over a blender? He came back the next year to apologize. He walked into the same store, found the same employee, and handed her a Starbucks gift card with a note. "For surviving us last year." She thanked him, and he immediately got into another shouting match in the checkout line. Full circle. The manager later said, "He's polite for about 6 minutes, then the sale begins." Humanity's capacity for growth apparently expires faster than a Black Friday coupon. 26. The wrong store hero. In Denver, a man camped out all night in front of what he thought was a Best Buy. Turns out the store had moved 2 years earlier. He waited 9 hours, noticed no one else was lining up, and decided to guard the door just in case. The next morning, employees from a pet supply store arrived to find him asleep in a lawn chair. When they told him he'd been at Pet Palace the whole time, he just muttered, "Do you guys at least have TVs for cats?" Honestly, he wasn't even that far off. The instinct to buy something, anything, was pure Black Friday. 27. The freezer fistfight. At a Sam's Club in Alabama, a crowd of bargain hunters discovered the store only had 3 mini freezers left on sale. Within minutes, 2 men grabbed the same box and refused to let go. For 10 straight minutes, they stood locked in a tug-of-war, sweating, cursing, and occasionally yelling, "I had it first!" Security had to separate them. One of the freezers got dented, one man got escorted out, and the third freezer, the untouched one, was quietly wheeled away by a grandma who didn't say a word. That's the real winner's mentality. 28. The Great Microwave Mirage. A man in Arizona saw an ad for $15 microwaves and drove 2 hours to buy 5 of them for his catering business. When he arrived, the microwaves turned out to be non-functioning floor models. He demanded the store activate them. The clerk said they were for display only. He refused to leave, insisting he'd been deceived by the fine print. Finally, they refunded him out of pity for $0, since he never actually paid. He left vowing to never shop there again, which, considering the circumstances, was a win for both sides. 29. The TV with a warranty and a bullet hole. In Kentucky, a man returned a flat-screen TV 3 days after Black Friday, claiming it just stopped working. When the employee opened the box, there was a bullet hole clean through the center of the screen. The man calmly explained that his cousin accidentally shot it while celebrating the deal. When told the warranty didn't cover firearm-related excitement, he demanded a supervisor with more understanding of freedom. The store gave him a refund in store credit, mostly just to get him out. Somewhere in a stockroom, that TV is still legendary as the patriotic return. 30. The Pajama Warriors. At a Walmart in Oregon, a group of friends decided to make shopping more comfortable by showing up in matching Christmas pajamas, which sounds adorable until they started tackling each other in the toy aisle over discounted Legos. Security footage showed Santa print pants flying everywhere. One of them lost a slipper mid-brawl and yelled, "That's my emotional support crock." By the time police arrived, 2 of them were hugging and apologizing to a confused child who just wanted a coloring book. It's the kind of wholesome chaos that perfectly sums up Black Friday. Cozy, chaotic, and completely insane. 31. The Trampoline Tragedy. In 2018, a man in Florida bought a half-off trampoline and insisted on testing it in the parking lot. Within minutes, a crowd gathered as he bounced higher, yelling, "Worth every penny!" The crowd cheered until the trampoline collapsed like a dying accordion. He landed in a shopping cart and immediately demanded a refund for false advertising. The manager pointed to the box that read, "Do not assemble or use in public areas." He replied, "Then why put it in a parking lot?" Logic lost that day, but the internet gained a timeless video. 32. The Disappearing TVs of Delaware One. Best Buy in Delaware made the mistake of putting Limit 1 per customer signs next to 50% off TVs. A man arrived with a team of friends, each buying one, then circled back through the line wearing different hats and jackets to buy more. After his 5th disguise, security finally caught him wearing a Santa beard and sunglasses. When confronted, he said, "You can't prove it's me? I'm festive." They could, because he kept paying with the same debit card. If Ocean's 11 had been about Walmart shoppers, this would have been the trailer. 33. The Turkey Dinner Detour. One man in Ohio tried to pull the ultimate multitask: Thanksgiving dinner and doorbusters. He brought his entire turkey dinner with him, plate, gravy, and all, and ate it while waiting in line at Best Buy. Halfway through, someone offered him $50 for a bite of turkey, and a bidding war broke out. By the end, he'd sold his mashed potatoes, stuffing, and a slice of pie for nearly $80. He didn't get the TV, but he left with profit. Economists later dubbed it the only truly successful Black Friday business model ever recorded. 34. The Inflatable Chaos Crew. A mall in Minnesota tried to lighten the mood one year by handing out inflatable bats and balloons to kids in line. Within 10 minutes, those toys became weapons. Adults joined in, smacking each other in mock battles that quickly turned real. Security had to confiscate hundreds of inflatable items while parents shouted, "He hit me first!" Witnesses described it as Lord of the Flies, but with coupons. The mall banned all inflatables the next year, proving that on Black Friday, even fun becomes dangerous once there's a discount involved. 35. the Chuck E. Cheese payment plan. And finally, a man in Texas walked up to a cashier with a 75-inch Samsung TV and tried to pay with an envelope full of Chuck E. Cheese tokens. When told they weren't legal currency, he said, "They're still money, just smaller." Security found out he'd driven an hour with 3,000 of them in a duffel bag. He left furious, yelling, "You people don't understand economics." The manager later joked they almost took the deal, because at least tokens don't bounce. Somewhere in Texas, a grown man still believes he almost bought a TV with mouse money. 36. The Midnight Mattress Mutiny. At a furniture store in Nevada, the staff decided to spice things up by advertising a Midnight Madness sale on mattresses, doors opening at exactly 12:01 a.m. Customers showed up early, but when the clock struck midnight, the automated doors jammed. The crowd, unwilling to let fate delay their discount sleep services, forced the doors open like a zombie horde. One man sprinted inside, jumped on a display bed, and yelled, "Mine!" Seconds later, 6 others joined him in what witnesses called a group nap brawl. By 12:07 a.m., 2 mattresses were torn, 1 display bed snapped in half, and a store manager was hiding behind a headboard whispering, "This was supposed to be fun." 37. The Great GPS Rebellion. A delivery driver in New Mexico got lost delivering 20 pallets of TVs to the wrong strip mall and accidentally dropped them off behind a closed Sears. Within an hour, people on social media had located the stash, and locals descended like modern-day pirates. By the time police arrived, half the TVs were gone, and one man was seen loading 2 into a shopping cart yelling, "It's not stealing if the sale found me." Authorities called it an organized looting event. Everyone else called it a surprise flash sale. 38. The Fire Alarm Finale. In North Carolina, a shopper who didn't get the discount drone he wanted pulled a fire alarm in revenge. The store evacuated hundreds of people, firefighters arrived, and the man tried to sneak back in while pretending to be part of the cleanup crew. When police caught him, he insisted it was a distraction tactic, like this was mission impossible. The kicker? The same model drone was still available online, for cheaper, but with a 2-day shipping delay. Some people will literally commit arson-level crimes just to avoid waiting 48 hours. 39. The Dressing Room Fortress. A woman in Chicago found a clever way to claim all the best clothes. She took armfuls of discounted jackets into the dressing room and never came out for 2 hours. When staff finally unlocked the door, she'd barricaded herself inside with hangers and snacks, trying on outfits while FaceTiming her sister for fashion approval. "If I leave," she said, "they'll take my size." Security had to escort her out, still wearing 3 layers of coats. Somewhere in retail training manuals, this story now lives under loss prevention emotional warfare. 40. The Police Escort Parade. In Georgia, a Walmart parking lot gridlocked so badly that local police had to escort shoppers home. Officers literally formed a motorcade for minivans full of discounted blenders. One cop described it as the least dignified use of taxpayer resources in history. Drivers waved like celebrities as if being escorted from retail hell was a victory parade. Somewhere between the traffic cones and the flashing lights, the true American dream appeared, leaving Walmart with your dignity barely intact and a 40% off air fryer in the trunk. 41. The Free Gift Frenzy. A mall in Arizona advertised that the first 100 customers would get a mystery gift. Nobody said it was valuable, just a surprise. That didn't matter. People camped overnight, and when the doors opened, chaos erupted. Security footage showed full-grown adults tackling each other for tiny envelopes that turned out to contain coupons for 10% off socks. One man stared at his prize and muttered, "I fought for this." Another woman demanded a refund for false hope. If irony could be sold, that mall would have made a fortune. 42. The Emotional Support Goat. And finally, a man in rural Pennsylvania brought his emotional support goat into Best Buy because shopping stresses him out. The goat, wearing a little holiday sweater, was calm at first, until it spotted the store's giant inflatable Santa display and charged. Chaos followed. TVs toppled, kids screamed, and one employee shouted, "We've got a goat situation." The man tried to claim the damages as therapy expenses. Security didn't buy it, but somewhere out there, a goat still remembers the day it liberated Aisle 6 from the tyranny of consumer electronics. 43. The Cart Corral Coup. At a big box store in Indiana, a self-appointed line marshal started reorganizing the outdoor queue with shopping carts like he was air traffic control. He created lanes, assigned numbers, and shouted "Next group," as if boarding a discount airline. People actually complied for 20 minutes, until the store opened doors on the other side of the building. The crowd bolted. His carefully crafted cart labyrinth was instantly abandoned. He stood there, whistle in mouth, watching his empire crumble faster than a folding table at a tailgate. Somewhere, a manager reviewed the security footage and said, "We should hire him, just not on Black Friday." 44. The Layaway Time Traveler. In Michigan, a man marched up to customer service waving a wrinkled layaway receipt from 2009. He demanded the store honor the price on a discontinued camcorder that hasn't existed since flip phones were king. When told the model was extinct, he argued the spirit of the deal survived. He suggested substituting a brand new mirrorless camera of equal vibe. After a stalemate worthy of the Geneva Convention, the store offered a modest gift card. He held it up like a trophy and declared, "Justice, sir, you didn't win a case. You bartered with time itself and got store credit." 45. The Stockroom Safari. A couple in Tennessee decided the best deals were hiding out of sight, so they slipped past an employees-only sign and went on a stockroom expedition. They wandered through pallet canyons, scanned boxes with their phones, and whispered like bargain biologists. Observe the rare half-off air fryer in its native habitat. When staff found them, they were kneeling beside a shrink-wrapped mountain of toasters, tagging favorites with sticky notes. Their defense? The sales floor was picked over. The manager, exhausted and somehow impressed, replied, "It's supposed to be." They were escorted out, clutching no toasters, only memories. 46. The Price Match Philosopher. At an electronics store in Ohio, a man attempted the most audacious price match in history, a $1,499 laptop to a yard sale flyer. He produced a blurry photo of a handwritten sign that read, "Nice computer, $50 OBO," next to a lawn flamingo. He cited the store's "We won't be beat" policy like a constitutional amendment. The supervisor countered with reality. For 40 surreal minutes, they debated the metaphysics of competitor. He left in a huff, promising a scathing review. The staff spent the rest of the day calling him Plato and hiding the flamingo someone had ordered for the break room. 47. The Parking Lot Pawn Shop. In California, a guy realized the checkout lines were longer than a Tolkien trilogy, so he invented a side hustle, buying doorbusters inside, then flipping them in the parking lot for a small markup to people who couldn't stand waiting. He sold out in under an hour, until loss prevention noticed the perpetual "sold out then mysteriously reappears outside" pattern. They banned him from the premises, but not before a grateful customer shook his hand and said, "You saved my afternoon." Capitalism applauded. Management did not. Somewhere, an econ professor now uses him as a case study titled, "Arbitrage, but make it asphalt." 48. The Mall Lockdown Lullaby, Grand Finale. And then there's the legend from Minnesota, a full mall lockdown caused by karaoke. A retailer tried to keep spirits high during a power outage by handing a customer a mic and a portable speaker. He launched into "Don't Stop Believin'" with such enthusiasm that nearby stores thought it was an alarm. Security radios crackled, gates dropped, and hundreds of shoppers were sealed inside while our accidental frontman hit the high note. Emergency crews arrived to find a crowd swaying with phone flashlights like it was an arena show, half chanting "Open the gates," half yelling "Encore." Power returned, gates rose, and the singer took a bow to thunderous, deeply confused applause. The mall later clarified, karaoke is not an emergency alert system. The video lives online as Black Friday the Musical. Humanity survived discounts, dignity did not. Nominate the dumbest moment in the comments.